Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
Good afternoon. Happening right now. News 12 partnering with the Shepherd Blood Center, hosting a blood drive right here at our station.
That's right. Our I-team has been looking into how a nationwide blood shortage is impacting us locally. Our Laura Warren is live outside right now with donors and how they can help save a life. Laura. You guys, despite that rain earlier, the blood mobile is full again and people are showing up in great numbers. It always makes us so good to feel a part of this community because when the community needs help, Augusta shows up. But a lot of this is because of the shortage. We know we've been in that nationwide blood shortage, and it could be as simple as people who were regular donors just not getting back into that habit. So make a plan. Stop by today before 6:30 to see us. But the reason we are doing this today is for the patients who need it. We want to introduce you to a local 3-year-old.
She said we don't have blue bananas. That's why she's doing the yellow banana.
Meet 3-year-old Courtney Elliott. She was diagnosed with leukemia about 4 months ago.
She says she's a little bit sick. We've had to change the way we describe things now for her.
Yeah.
So she says she's a little bit sick if she's doing clinic visits, and she's a lot sick if she's in the hospital.
She's in remission right now, but her treatments will last for another 2 years. And throughout that process, she'll need blood and platelet donations.
I can tell when she needs blood. When she needs blood, she gets sleepy, or I notice she's kind of pale. When she needs platelets, like she does now, she bruises real bad.
So her mom knew she would need blood and platelets at her visit Monday when her bruising got worse over the weekend. And sure enough, her levels came back critically low.
The doctor told me that basically he doesn't like where her platelets are right now, but there's really nothing he can do about it until her numbers drop more. I mean, they have to be stringent. They don't have extra anything to give out right now.
It's a gut punch for a mom worried about the risk of infection and what that would mean for her little girl if it happens again.
Her counts were low, and they got into little cuts. Overnight was a big infection spot, and she was in the hospital 15 days then.
Her family knows firsthand what your donation means.
You don't realize how much is needed until you're in that position. And it's a position I hope no one is ever in because it's horrible.
This week, she's had severe bruising and nosebleeds as her platelet count drops lower and lower.
I don't know if you can see. She's got all kinds of cuts. And
you are very brave and strong.
She is. She's my little hero.
Let's pump in and out. So I did speak with Courtney's mom a little earlier today. I'm getting ready to donate for Courtney because I don't normally do great with blood donation, but she completely changed my mind. And I hope she changes your mind too, even if maybe in the past it has been hard for you. But I did speak with her. She is getting those platelets today. Her levels are as low as they have ever been, but she shouldn't have to wait the next time. And there is going to be a next time. She's going to need blood again. She's going to need platelets again. So please come out. We'll be here till 6:30. They would love to take your blood donation, and we'd love to say hi and thank you.
Great cause and plenty of time left to get out and donate.
That's true. And you know what? Even if you don't have time today, you can go over the weekend. Laura, I feel you. I don't do well either, so I'm going to go on a weekend when I don't have to work and anchor 3 newscasts. I waited until 5 o'clock, so if I pass out and you don't see me, that's why.
Good luck over there.
Such a good cause.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's take a look outside over in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks for that. A jury has convicted a Columbia County man in the trial over a toddler's death back in 2019. This morning, they considered several charges against Charles Sconyers, an Augusta firefighter arrested in the death of his girlfriend's son, Lincoln DeVette. Sconyers' charges included malice murder, aggravated assault, and child cruelty. The murder charge carries a sentence of life in prison, while the other 2 each carry 20 years in prison. Homeowners in an Atlanta neighborhood say they are worried about a possible burglary ring targeting luxury homes in their area.
One couple installed 10 doorbell cameras after their next-door neighbor was robbed. A couple of weeks later, they say they saw 2 men walking up the side of their home dressed in all black, wearing a mask.
This is a very sophisticated ring of organized criminals that are going into homes, specifically targeting those homes. They seem to know in advance who will be gone and when. almost in every case that I know of, the homeowner has been gone.
First, we thought it was the cops because they were in all black, but then we saw they had the backpacks and the black face mask.
Yeah, they came with a mission, didn't they? They look like they're on a job. Police say it may be a ring because of similarities to burglaries in Cobb County, Gwinnett County, and DeKalb counties. In South Carolina, the child accused of shooting and killing his classmate in a Greenville middle school will stay behind bars for now. That 12-year-old charged with murder in the death of a fellow student, a 12-year-old named Jamari Jackson. This happened back on March 31st. There was a hearing yesterday to determine whether the suspect should await trial, but his legal team waived that hearing until at the last minute.
We really don't have any evidence in the case yet. There's a lot of witnesses and phone records and social media and incident reports that we do not have, and videos, and until we have that, we don't have a grasp.
Beasley says there could be a new detention hearing later this summer. Another hearing will be held to decide if that 12-year-old will be tried as an adult.
A 52-year-old man is in custody after a road rage incident sparked a shootout in Raleigh, North Carolina, and the whole thing was caught on camera. In this video, you can see a man walk back to his car and sit in the driver's seat of his vehicle. Right after, shots are fired, shattering his window. Sylvester Stokes in yellow is charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and possession of a firearm by a felon. One witness describes hearing the gunshots while working from home.
It was a lot of gunshots. Bam, 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 bam. Like, there was definitely more than one. I saw the crime tape and I figured something bad had happened.
Davis says annoying as getting cut off is, it's not a big enough problem to shoot someone over. The other man involved was hurt and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. He was not charged.
First to 5, Augusta in line for almost 4 and more than 900,000 for a program offering stable and permanent housing assistance for low-income people with HIV. In a statement following the announcement, Senator Raphael Warnock says these robust federal investments in our state's housing infrastructure will make it more affordable for hardworking Georgians at every income bracket to find better, more cost-effective housing.
Hundreds of officers killed in the line of duty are being honored at our nation's capital this week. Among them, Captain Justin Bedwell from Decatur, Georgia. He is survived by his wife, Catherine, who was in D.C. when Bedwell's name was added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial.
Happy, honored that they're honoring my husband. But then once again, he shouldn't be here. No law enforcement family should be having to come visit their family members on the wall.
Ceremonies will take place throughout the weekend in Washington for Bedwell from Decatur County and over 500 other officers honored in this year's Police Week. Here's a story that might make your heart explode. Check out this sign posted on the neighborhood sign in Nob Hill subdivision. Mr. Jimmy is a bus driver for elementary students.
And the parents over there decided to put this together, thanking him for going the extra mile this year. We reached out to Jimmy, who says it just blew him away to see this.
I love this so much. I mean, bus drivers are so important.
Yeah, and really in demand. So a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Coming up, a community rallying together after a man repeatedly breaks into a group of women's homes. How a neighborhood menace ended up behind bars again. That's next. Anthony?
We're keeping an eye on some stronger storms and some showers moving across the CSRA this evening. Fortunately, this weekend they look to be a little bit more isolated, but we're going to be in for a big warm-up of the full forecast coming up just after the break.
Time and Depth, brought to you by...
A man accused of breaking into 3 homes in a row, now in police custody. The women whose houses were broken into followed him to a vape shop in Buckhead, where they called police. Staff inside the store even helping stall the guy until officers could get there. Now the victims say enough is enough.
He keeps coming back. Well, it's 3 houses in a row. We're all single female owners. He's hit every one of us. Hopefully the district attorney will keep him locked up for a while. And he'll learn his way.
The suspect, identified as Robert Gambrione, and Atlanta police say he's been arrested 4 times in the last couple of years.
Before this, he was arrested last May when he was found hiding in one of the victim's crawl spaces in her attic. Anthony?
Our Alright guys, as we go through the rest of this evening, still going to watch the potential for some scattered showers and storms. A little bit drier as we head toward this weekend. Just a few isolated 7 by Thursday.
An Alabama university says it received the largest donation in school history. This is Samford University in Homewood, Alabama, just outside of Birmingham.
And they just took in $100 million from a single donor. Who could have all that money? Well, that would be the former CEO of IBM's product division and Lexmark.
We are humbled and overjoyed to be the beneficiaries of this transformational act of generosity. What an amazing day in the life of Samford University.
The president of the university says the money will allow them to give out $4 million each year in scholarships. That is some big bucks.
That will affect a lot of families, and I know they appreciate that. Still to come, speaking of college students here at the Medical College of Georgia, they're working to address a different kind of poverty in our area known as period poverty. Coming up, we're going to explain what that means and how they're trying to help.
The Live by
Counties are open tomorrow. We have a full list of the local polling locations and hours on our website, wrdw.com. Election day for the Georgia primary is coming up May 24th. They can be expensive and at times a necessity many people cannot afford. We're talking about menstrual products and an issue called period poverty. But students at the Medical College of Georgia are working to help people across our area. They're in a local chapter of a nationwide movement to provide menstrual products at no cost to those who need them most. Organizers tell us when people can't afford these necessary items, they often resort to things that could be harmful.
Not all women have access, and there is a big barrier to accessibility in this community and the United States. Menstrual products are very expensive, and if women don't have them, they may go without or use unsanitary means.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, our Celeste Springer breaks down how the group is also advocating for menstrual health.
Well, as we continue on through the rest of the upper 90s through Thursday.
Here comes the heat, Anthony. Thanks. Coming up next half hour, after an hour and a half of deliberation this morning, the verdict is in the trial of a Columbia County man in the death of a 2-year-old when we come back.
News 12, first at 5, continues.
After just an hour and a half of deliberating, a jury has convicted a former Augusta firefighter, Charles Conyers, of murder in the 2019 death of his girlfriend's son, Lincoln DeVette.
Conyers found guilty of malice murder, aggravated assault, and child cruelty. News 12's Will Rio live in our studio now with reaction from the courtroom.
Well, like you said, it took jurors only an hour and a half to come up with a guilty verdict in this case. When the clerk of court read the decision, you could hear disbelief and crying from the crowd. Conyers immediately put his head down on the table and would later look back at his lawyers in complete shock. Earlier this morning, the prosecution had the chance for a rebuttal after Conyers took the stand yesterday afternoon. They called a witness from DFACS to testify on several investigations they had done regarding injuries to Lincoln. Closing arguments happened quickly after that. The defense backed their case with the need for reasonable doubt evidence and a past injury that made his accidental fall worse. The prosecution says they had medical examiners prove this was no accident and that this was a pattern of abuse. The jury deliberated, and after the verdict was read, the judge gave Charles Conyers the chance to say something. Here's what he had to say.
I feel terrible about what happened to Lincoln, but I did not do this, and I stand to this day and say that. This is not right. This is not justice.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're taking a look at the moments leading up to the guilty verdict in that courtroom and what both sides said in the closing argument.
Will, thanks for that. To weather now as we give you a live
This evening.
All right, thanks for that, Anthony. Happening now, News 12 is partnering with the Shepherd Blood Center to hold a blood drive. They've been set up outside our studio since noon today.
And Laura Warren's been right there with him, and now she's sort of taking it easy. She's been covering the local blood shortage, but Laura, you're contributing as we speak, right?
Yes, after hearing these family stories, I sometimes have a tendency to faint when I give blood, but I could not donate. And you know what? I did great. So if you have a tendency to faint, try again because I feel fine. But that's the reason that we are here today, because the shortage that we saw during the pandemic, it really hasn't caught up here here at home. And I spoke with a doctor at the Children's Hospital yesterday who said that they're really on a day-to-day basis with what they can do in terms of the blood availability that they have on the shelf. So this is serious stuff. And when there is a blood shortage like the one that we're experiencing, doctors have to make really tough calls and put strict caps in place, which they're doing right now. One of those patients feeling the pain of the shortage, 3-year-old Courtney Elliott, she's recovering from leukemia right now. She needed blood and she needed platelets Monday. And even though her platelet count was critically low, they had to hold off. So her bruising got worse this week. She had nosebleeds, her mom said. Her great-grandparents heard about the shortage here. They drove all the way from Charlotte to donate in our blood drive today.
Everybody could see what these children are having to go through. They would be out there giving their blood. And that's what I ask people to do. Get out there and donate blood for these children.
Your donation can save up to 3 local lives. And the doctor we spoke to at the Children's Hospital says since they're on such a day-to-day basis, this has impacts she may not even be thinking of. Sometimes if a baby needs heart surgery, if there's not enough blood on standby for a high-risk surgery like that, they could have to delay it a day or two. So there's so much we know that we cannot control. I think the pandemic taught us a lot about that. But in this case, there is so much here at home that we can control. We can get blood. We can stock those shelves so doctors can do everything they can to help our neighbors. And you never know when you're going to need that life-saving blood donation. So come out. Please join us. We're here till 6:30, and you get a free T-shirt. They'll give you a Sprite, and you'll feel like a hero at the end.
Yeah, thanks to all of our donors, Laura. Thanks for being a hero right there and for all the work you're putting into making this blood drive happen in our parking lot.
Yes.
Today. And there is still time to come out and get involved. An hour left to
Good
get
job,
blood.
Laura.
Well done. Okay, Delaware State University filing a complaint with the Justice Department after a bus carrying their women's lacrosse team is pulled over in coastal Georgia, Liberty County last month. During the stop, sheriff's deputies searched the bags of the players from that HBCU. In a news conference today, university leaders say the search violated the rights of those players and the bus driver.
The basis of this complaint will be police misconduct related to the April 20th incident in which Liberty County Sheriff's Department officers conducted a constitutionally dubious stop and search of a charter bus transporting the university's women's lacrosse team.
So in video from the search, deputies can be heard telling those on board the bus they were looking for illegal drugs. No drugs were found during that search on the side of the road there in coastal Georgia.
New details in the case of Ryan Duke. He is standing trial for the murder and disappearance of Tara Grinstead in South Georgia. FBI forensic biologist Ashley Hinkle says Duke's DNA was found on the glove in Grinstead's yard. Yesterday, jurors saw video of Duke telling investigators where he buried the body. Today marked the end of the first full week of this trial.
Lots of celebrations going on today. Students at Augusta University completing a major milestone, graduating with a college degree.
Oh, they're so excited. Our Claire Allen was there for the ceremony this morning.
People from all walks of life got to celebrate. They completed a new chapter in life. Some do not get to walk. What does today mean to you?
A lot. I am blessed. I'm excited. I'm nervous.
It means the world. The fact I get to graduate on time.
A day full of pride, happiness, and some tears.
And the final degree for the College of Science and Mathematics will be awarded posthumously in honor of biology graduate Jaggers Isaiah Bartley.
For some graduates, today is monumental. Lauren Wheeler was named 2022 top cybersecurity student at AU and says her dad is her inspiration.
I always wanted to be the type to fix things for myself around my own house.
Santanya Browner is getting her degree in social work and says doctors told her parents she wouldn't make it past the age of 16.
I just gotta thank the man upstairs for just allowing me to be here.
Nevertheless, with hard work and dedication comes adversity.
When I was a sophomore, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So going through that diagnosis was pretty tough.
I want to be an advocate for people like myself. I have a learning disability and I also have a heart condition.
Both graduates beat the odds to inspire the next generation.
They put us in a box, so I want to be that voice to speak out.
In Augusta, Claire Allen on your side.
Oh, such a great day for all of those graduates. Congratulations. Up next, Reading Day returns to East Aiken School of the Arts after 2 years, complete with floats, costumes, and free books. Anthony?
We're going to keep an eye on those showers as we go through the rest of this evening. Still seeing some light to moderate showers across the CSRA. A little bit drier for the upcoming weekend. We'll have that forecast coming up just after the break.
Some of the students at East Aiken Elementary got to celebrate reading and their favorite book characters for the first time in a few years.
It's one of the many traditions put on pause by COVID. News 12's Will Volk was there, where staff says they're trying to reignite an interest in reading ahead of summer break.
Reading Day is back.
It's a really fun day where we celebrate all things literacy and reading throughout the day with lots of fun activities.
It's the first one in 3 years at East Aiken School of the Arts. Things started with a parade where each class showed off a book-themed float they've been working on for weeks.
It's interesting to hear the design process because some of the classes are really having a process for how they're going to plan and work together and create.
After the parade, every student picked out 4 books to take home. The goal of this day is to make sure kids are interested in reading right before they leave for summer break.
To get the kids excited and continue the fun and joy of reading.
And you can see all the smiling faces as students watch their classmates parade down the halls. After a few years off, they're happy to have Reading Day back.
It was just fun to see joy and happiness around the books and the kids' creations.
In Aiken, Will Volk, on your side.
Again, that's East Aiken School of the Arts, and they also had guests come to read in every classroom. We really support that.
Reading is so much fun, and the pandemic messed up so many things. It's good to see slowly but surely almost everything is trying to get back to normal.
A book can take you lots of places.
Yep. All right, taking a look outside. Oh, it's a day. All right, thanks, Anthony. Senior athletes continue to put pen to paper around the area.
Sports reporter Alyssa Lyons in the studio now with the latest on what's next for one West Side senior.
Hey, well, it's not every day that instead of having 2 choices, you have 20. And that was the case for Westside pitcher Billy Baker when it came time to settle on his next move. Baker will continue his athletic career playing baseball for Russ College in Mississippi. He racked up over $500,000 in scholarships across 20 schools. Baker's baseball career began at Laney, but made the move to Westside his sophomore year, playing outfield, shortstop, and pitcher for the Patriots. And when it came time to pick, Baker says the choice was obvious.
Well, Russ had, they still had a lot of players, but they had enough players that I'm able to get recognized. And when I went up there to meet the coach was nice. And when I was able to talk to him, it felt like it was family. Because my mother is a retired veteran. My coach is also a retired veteran.
Baker has big plans, including one day declaring for the MLB draft and majoring in either structural or civil engineering.
Alyssa, thanks. Coming up, everyone seems to have a new app these days, turning themselves into a cartoon with their picture profile. Well, next in What the Tech, we're going to check to see if that app is actually safe to use.
Let's kick it. Calling out all you fellas and ladies. STDs are tearing through folks in their 80s.
You heard right. STDs are on the rise for seniors. An IT investigation you'll want to share with Grandma Monday on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
The law comes first. Rely on Ramjet, the foundation repair experts for over 40 years.
Well, if you've been on Facebook or Twitter the past couple of days, really, you've probably seen some of your friends and followers uploading new profile pictures of themselves as cartoons.
They look pretty cool. Some of them look like impressive paintings.
Yeah, realistic.
Yeah, they've created them using a new free app, but there are some concerns, some major ones, about where this app is coming from. Jamie Tucker has been looking into the new photo app to answer the question, is it safe?
In case you haven't been on Facebook the past few days, the new app, New Profile Pic, creates cartoonish versions of profile pictures. They're pretty cool looking and hundreds of thousands of people are using it. Everyone else is warning friends that the app steals personal information and sends it to the Russians. Some users claim it ran up their credit card bill. Here's what I've learned. The app is from a company with some developers located in Russia and Ukraine. The company, LineRock, has been behind at least 50 other photo editing apps. The app does gather and share some user information: name, email address, location, and social network information, and of course, any photo you give it permission to use. There is no evidence, though, that it shares any other information with Russia or any other country. So where are the warnings?
Well, if you've been on Facebook or Twitter the past couple of days, really, you've probably seen some of your friends and followers uploading new profile pictures of themselves as cartoons.
They look pretty cool. Some of them look like impressive paintings.
Yeah, realistic.
Yeah, they've created them using a new free app, but there are some concerns, some major ones, about where this app is coming from. Jamie Tucker has been looking into the new photo app to answer the question, is it safe?
In case you haven't been on Facebook the past few days, the new app, New Profile Pic, creates cartoonish versions of profile pictures. They're pretty cool looking, and hundreds of thousands of people are using it. Everyone else is warning friends that the app steals personal information and sends it to the Russians. Some users claim it ran up their credit card bill. Here's what I've learned. The app is from a company with some developers located in Russia and Ukraine. The company, LineRock, has been behind at least 50 other photo editing apps. The app does gather and share some user information: name, email address, location, and social network information, and of course, any photo you give it permission to use. There is no evidence, though, that it shares any other information with Russia or any other country. So where are the warnings coming from? The UK tabloid, the Daily Mail, published that report. It's being shared by other news organizations that report just like the app has gone viral. None of the claims by the tabloid or their experts have been verified. So how does this free app make money for the company? Through advertisements that play while you use it, also from people who sign up for a free trial and forget to cancel. They're charged $30. So is it safe to use? We'll put it this way. If you've already uploaded a photo of yourself or signed up to use a free app, it's not going to share any information that you haven't already shared. It is a fun app, kind of cool, and you're probably okay to use it. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Okay, I like the sound of that. I thought he was going to tell us, no, it's dangerous. So
interesting that it does go back to Russia and Ukraine, but apparently it checks out.
With all the stuff we all have shared at some point anyway. Well, he did reach out to LineRock for more information on the app. He is still waiting to hear back.
On its blog, though, the company says it does not share information with Russia and deletes photos after creating that cartoon image, if that makes you feel any better. Starting June 1st, Tybee Island will ban smoking on all beaches. This ban includes tobacco products and related products, including vapes. The city staff says almost 500,000 cigarette butts were collected over the last 5 years.
It's about that time of year when people start hiking again, and health officials are warning people about contracting Lyme disease.
It is serious. It is a bacterial infection people can get from a tick bite. The CDC estimates about 500,000 Americans are diagnosed and treated each year.
Mandy Gaither has more on how to prevent this illness.
They're creepy, crawly, and packed with potentially dangerous bacteria that can lead to Lyme disease.
Deer ticks are 3 millimeters in size, so they're tiny, and if they bite us, it really doesn't hurt. It takes a deer tick at least 36 hours to transmit the illness.
Dr. Dan Sullivan with Cleveland Clinic says if a deer tick is removed within 36 hours of it latching on, the threat of Lyme disease is smaller. But if the tick isn't removed within that time period, the risk rises.
It's a little red spot where the bite took place, but then the redness expands, so it looks a little bit like a bullseye.
Other initial symptoms of Lyme disease can include fever, chills, headache, muscle and joint aches, and swollen lymph nodes. A doctor can prescribe an antibiotic to knock out the infection at the earliest stages. If left untreated, Lyme disease can affect the heart and nervous system.
The best part about Lyme disease is it's preventable.
CDC data shows spring and summer are a tick's favorite time of year to bite. The creatures like to hide in high grass. Keeping lawns mowed and hedges trimmed are key. When outdoors, especially in a wooded area, keep your skin covered with clothing. Wear insect repellent with DEET. Then do a tick check. Look behind knees, in the scalp, and underarms. Ticks should be carefully removed with tweezers. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
You cannot be too careful there. Now, if you find the tick, you're not sure how long it's been there, you are encouraged to see a doctor because a blood test can confirm whether a Lyme disease is even present. Anthony?
Well, as you're heading out the door this Thursday, and some locations could get closer to 97.
All right, thanks for that, Anthony. New insight on moves to demolish Dogwood Terrace in Augusta, but not all questions are answered. We're continuing to follow this story coming up next on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
George Injury Lawyers has the experience.